Loud Impact. How is everyone on this fine Thursday morning? Now, I was listening to Joe Rogan this morning. As I listen to every morning, I always listen to some form of motivational video. Every morning, midday, and definitely every evening on the way home from work or just when you got 10, 15, 20 minutes spare. I always listen to motivational videos. For me, it's a massive part of my journey. And Joe Rogan was talking about his life and saying about how you become the hero in your life, like it's a movie, like it's a film. Now, I'm going to let you know about how my life has gone. And I want to see how many of you are prepared to allow yourself to be vulnerable enough to share yours with me. Now, from an early age, I witnessed domestic violence. The first age that I can recall would be 5 years old. But, sorry, forgetting, prior to that, I was in care. I was actually a love child between my mum and my dad. I don't know how it would work, but one of them, they should have been my uncle or they should have been my auntie, and they had a bit of a wife swap, and I was basically a love child. So I was an affair child. So I got put into care. My first ever Christmas, I did meet up with my biological brothers and sisters, and my first ever Christmas, I was left in a cot upstairs, no presents, no nothing. If it wasn't for my biological sister Tammy, this is her words, not mine. If it wasn't for her, I'd have been left up there all day in the soggiest of nappies, crying because no one downstairs was paying any attention to me. So I had that. So that was my experience of my very first Christmas. So bearing in mind March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, I'd have been 9 months old. So that's going to play its role within my life. I can guarantee you that. First known, so then got adopted at 21 months old. Been in care prior to that. Got adopted at 21 months old by my mum and my dad, and obviously making a better life for myself. Oh, sorry, they're making a better life for myself. First known case of domestic violence that I can recall. I was 5 years old, and then it went all the way through my childhood. From one time or another, it went all the way through my childhood. Witnessed my mum getting severely hurt by my dad. Just witnessed a lot of violence and sadness, really. Now, for all the love in the world, my mum tried to protect me from all of this, but she couldn't. I'm a very intuitive, I'm a very nosy person. Anyone that knows me will say exactly the same thing, and I was no different as a child. If there was a difference in atmosphere, if there was a difference in tones of voices, I wanted to see what was going on. And I saw some horrific things. And I'm not going to go into too many details. Unless people want me to, then I will. But I'm not going to go into too many details on that. That is going to be for the domestic violence side of things that I'm working alongside Kaleidoscopic for. So we've had that. Then at 19, no, 17 years old, my brother admitted to me that he was gay. I knew he was gay. I've known for a long time. But then he started to have his friends turn on him. So again, there was more violence because I was protecting my little brother. That's my job, no? So that ended up happening. Then my brother moved, went to London, became a rent boy. He had a scarring and really awful time in London. He had some good times as well. And I was constantly worried about him, trying to help him, trying to protect him, as a big brother does. So I had that to contend with as well. At the same time, all the way through, trying to grow as a person, trying to better my career. I was in mechanics trade from early age, some sort of 15, doing a Saturday job, working as a trainee mechanic. Got all the way through to about 6 months left of my course, but again, the anger that Nigel's had his entire life ruined that. Got a can thrown at me, so I ended up hitting someone, and that got me the sack from there. Um, so then I've always bounced from one thing to another, and that's happened the same for me with relationships. I've got to be honest, I hit a 2 or 3 year hitch, and I don't know whether it's because it's out of my comfort zone. I don't know whether it's because I feel um, that I don't deserve any more than that. I don't really know what it is. It could be a number of things, but my first wife was very aggressive to the degree that the very last time that she was domestically violent towards me, I ended up curling up, protecting my son who was only a few weeks old. And while she was weighing into me, what felt like an eternity, but was probably in realistic terms about 5 or 6 minutes. That was a long time. Jumping out of a first floor flat window to get away from her, landed on my car and nearly breaking my ankle. There was that side of it as well. Then I've been with other women and they've cheated on me, treated me like shit, to the degree I didn't know whether or not my second oldest son was actually mine, because she cheated with the next door neighbour. At the same time, she fell pregnant with Lewis. So I didn't know whether that was the case. So I had that to contend with as well. Um, and obviously everything that had gone on with Emma prior in the first relationship, I ended up then getting into a bad way of life, um, doing things to people that I'm not very proud of, collecting debt money, started to deal in drugs, started to do all that side of things. I hadn't actually taken drugs by this point. Then 23 hit, and that was 22, sorry, hit, and that was when my drug journey started. And that has been a very roller coaster filled journey in itself. Again, I can go into more details with this, but I don't want to, I'm conscious of the time of the video. So I had that to contend with as well. And then trying to pull myself through that, because as much as you can have loved ones around you that do want the best for you, you can tend to keep them at arm's length because you're trying to protect them. And because they don't understand, they have no empathy, they have no sympathy because they haven't gone through it. And the first thing people say is, well, just stop. What's more important, your family or your addiction? Well, duh, dickhead, of course it's going to be my family. I don't wake up one day and decide to fuck everything up. But on the flip side of that, it's not that fucking easy. If it was, we wouldn't have addiction. So wake the fuck up and understand addiction is everywhere. And that's why I set up Loud Impact. Because I want to help everyone that's had their journey, that's going through the shit turmoil that's in their life. And that's where I become the hero in my story. I wake up every day praying I'm going to be able to help someone, help them change their life. Every single day I wake up and I check Facebook, right, has anyone messaged me? Every single day I'm checking my emails, praying that someone somewhere has changed because we've had that conversation. That's where I get my rewards. That's where I get my worth from. And now I've started to dive in a little bit more into the mental well-being side of things, getting more qualifications as I'm going along as well, gaining more experience. So the world is my oyster, and if the world's my oyster, I'll be sharing it with the world also. There's no I in this. There's Loud Impact, and Loud Impact is a company and an organisation that wants to give to everyone. And I will give to everyone, but you've got to want to hear what I want to say. You're not always going to like it. And I've had 2 people drop out of my program because it's not fucking easy. It's not designed to be easy. If it was easy, everyone could dive in and out of it as they well please. But it's not that sort of program. The 10-step program I designed smashes the arse out of the 12-step program. The 12-step programs are old and dated. This smashes the arse out of that. But to the same degree, it is hard. Life is hard. It's not easy. If you wake up one day and go, fuck me, I thought I'd have beat this by now, you ain't ready. On the other hand, if you wake up and think, I will beat this, then you are ready. Get in contact, guys. All right, so I've waffled on a little bit, but where are you the hero in your story, and how was yours? How was your life film worked out? So, guys, as always, be positive, be strong, be true.